This is a story of Hercules, 185-inch 10-point with 14-inch G2s, 13-inch G3s. As soon as I saw those tall tines walking at me, it was go time. Oh my God, I did it. In the summer of 2021, I located Hercules. I was actually working one day and spotted him crossing a power line. And once I saw the deer, I knew it was a Booner caliber buck. It was a buck that I definitely wanted to pursue. So I immediately got on my Onyx and started scouring the area and started knocking on doors and trying to get access to the area that this deer was in. And I ended up getting access to 13 acres, and it just so happened to be the piece where Hercules was bedded. It was all woods, it was swampy, it was thick. It was gonna be a challenge to hunt because the deer was in there embedded, and there was only 13 acres, so I had to hunt it very sparingly. And also, after gaining access to this 13 acres, I realized that there were other people hunting this deer in very close proximity. So it's legal to bait deer in Ohio, so it was either I baited or the deer was gonna leave the property and probably get killed by somebody else. So I immediately went in and put out some bait and a camera and immediately started getting pictures of this deer. But then quickly realized that this deer probably wasn't going to get killed on bait. He was an old deer. He was smart. I only got a couple daylight pictures of him after that, prior to season, during daylight. And then once season started, it was just like, an hour after dark, every single time. He was consistently showing up. But my main goal with the bait was actually to keep the deer on the property till after dark. So I knew he was going to leave the property. It was only 13 acres, but I figured if I can keep him on the property until after dark, then I had an opportunity to harvest the deer and also kept, other guys from harvesting the deer.
I'm excited to introduce a brand new Deer Society video series called The Art of Deer Hunting. Now within this series, we have categories such as the art of calling, the art of food plots, the art of scent control. We're going to detail and break down all things in these categories plus more, from trail cameras, stands, scrapes, all things related to successful deer hunting is what this series is all about. This series is a culmination of all the information we've received internally from some of the best deer hunters across the country and the methods they've used to successfully harvest mature whitetails year after year. This is called The Art of Deer Hunting on the Deer Society YouTube channel.
So the beginning part of the season, my strategy was to try to hunt the bait and try to kill him. And I wasn't 100% sure where the deer was bedded from the direction he was coming. But then prior to the season, he showed up the one day and he had mud clean to his, almost clean up to his first knuckle on his leg. I knew at that point that he was actually bedded, right by the entrance to the property. Like he was bedded very close to the road. And it kind of started to make sense to me because when I would leave, he would show up on camera. So it's almost like he knew I was there. So then I had to gain access to another piece to be able to park and then sneak in the other way. And once I figured that out, I figured I might have had a chance killing him on the bait. So then I sat, I think 4 or 5 times for him early season in the blind. And it kept getting to the point where there's so many deer on the bait. And a little bit of wind swirl or something, doe would throw her head up and start snorting. And I'm only hunting 13 acres, so I can't be having deer snorting and blowing the place out. So it's got to the point where I decided that I was done hunting the bait because I felt like the more I hunted it, I was pressuring it. It didn't feel right to me. So I continued to bait just to keep them there, but then I just decided to back completely off the bait and started making a strategy for the rut. And hung a couple stands and pinch points where I thought he would leave his bedding area. I might have an opportunity to intercept him. And I hung some more cameras, and as we were around the corner, we saw him on the edge of this field working a scrape. I got a picture of him cruising this edge. At that point, I knew that, he was actively up seeking and, looking for does and hitting scrapes. And I was conversating with my buddy, and I told him I have a stand that's smack dab between where I think he's bedded and this scrape. I'm only going to be probably less than 100 yards when this deer's bedded. And I got in there at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I walked in real slow Didn't spook any deer, settled into the stand, and I just had that feeling. Sometimes when you're bow hunting and you just put yourself in a position to kill a deer, and I just figured if he's bedded where I think he is and he's headed where he did the previous day, anticipation was really high. And it was starting to get dark, and I turned around and he was walking straight at the backside of my tree. At this point, he's literally walking straight at the backside of my tree, so I don't know what side he's coming on. And I literally had to wait till the deer got right to the base of my tree to, figure out what way I was turning. And I actually had to end up turning the whole way around with this deer directly underneath me.
I just looked Hercules. Oh my God. Oh my God, I did it. Oh my God. I just drilled a big chest. I just drilled him at 10 yards. Thank you, Lord. Let's go, buddy. Thank you. Oh my. Dude, can you believe this? Look at this thing. What a freaking stud. Dude, look how long those tines are. Oh my God. I don't even know what to say. This thing is a freaking giant. This deer has been driving me crazy since I first seen him. I don't even know what to say. This thing is an absolute giant. Hercules is down.
Definitely one of the keys to, success in this hunt would be not pressuring. When you're talking about hunting a small parcel versus, a big parcel, you don't have as many options. There's only a couple options to even hunt this deer. The phase system really comes in play in hunting these big deer because, your wind and your scent is everything. If they catch your wind and your scent, it's game over. And it's one of those things, if I can't get in and out undetected, I'm not even going to go in. Locating a deer is one thing, but getting access to a big deer, that can be a very difficult thing. And this is where I use Onyx a lot, because Onyx is an awesome tool where you figure out where the landowner lives and ask for permission. And it was a huge tool that I used to gain access to the property where this deer was. And then once I gained access to this property, it was all about strategizing, figuring out how to kill the deer, and also trying to make sure I didn't blow them out of there.
Thanks for watching this Deer Society Hunt Breakdown. Subscribe to the channel for more great educational content to help you become a better hunter. From podcasts to the Art of Deer Hunting series, hunt breakdowns, tips, tactics, and a whole lot more. The Deer Society is all about deer hunting education.